Hi, this is Made by Mommy, and I'm very excited today to share with you this princess figure that I've created. It can stand on its own. Whee! That's so exciting. And it's made using both the Monster Tail Loom and the Rainbow Loom. If you're very clever, you could do it all on the Rainbow Loom, but the Monster Tail makes it so much easier. And before I begin, I just want to give a shout out to two channels on YouTube, Justin's Toys and PG's Loomacy. There is no question that your work helped me get to the point where I could make this really cute figure. So I'm sure those of you that watch those channels will recognize some of Justin's Toys techniques in the creation of the skirt and some of PG's Loomacy's amazing figure making in the construction of the upper body. So thanks to both of those channels. And to get yourself ready, you'll need your looms, you'll need a hook, and you'll need rubber bands, obviously. I like to use Rainbow Loom brand. I find that they're the most reliable. You'll need 84 rubber bands in the color you want the dress to be, 45 in the color you want the skin to be if you're making this strapless version of the dress, 23 rubber bands in the color of the hair if you want it to be this length. Obviously, if you want to make it longer, that would be more bands. 2 for the colors of the eyes and 1 for the color of the mouth. So get all of your supplies together and let's get started. We're going to begin constructing this doll from the bottom up. Her skirt is the first thing we'll do. So we're going to get our monster tail looms ready. And we're going to make the skirt. And to start, take single rubber band in the color you want the dress to be, twist, and go over. And we're going to go all the way around the whole monster tail that way. We only need to twist for this first row so that the rubber bands have somewhere to catch and don't pop off. After this, the rubber bands will not be twisted as they are placed on the loom. So that is our first row of rubber bands. We're now going to add another row around. Again, this one we don't have to twist. Just start at one of the points and go all the way around in a circle, overlapping. And repeat one more time. So that we'll have 3 full rows of bands on our loom. Okay, so now there are 3 rows all the way around, and we're ready to take our hook and begin. And this is where those of you who watch Justin's Toys will say this looks familiar. Take the 2 from the bottom, which were that first row, and bring them over to the top. We're going to go around in a circle doing that on each peg. The 2 from the bottom up to the top. So those of you that don't have the monster tail, If you want to figure out how to do this, watch Justin's Toys do his hexafish. He does it on 6 pegs on a regular rainbow loom, and you should be able to figure out from there how to go up to the 8 for the skirt. Going all the way around. And if you've lost your place, you'll know you made it all the way around when you see 4 bands on each of these sides. And then we're ready to add our 4th row of bands onto the loom. Again, just around in a circle, trying as much as we can to keep them straight and not twisted. Like that. And again, just taking 2 from the bottom, up and over to the top, and going around in a circle, doing that again and again. Got to keep your thumb there to make sure they don't pop up if they start sliding. Two from the bottom, up and over. There you go. And then push them all down, and again, just confirm that you got all the pegs by looking to see that there are 4 bands on each of these positions. So that was row 4. This is row 5. Our skirt is going to have 8 rows that are made the same way, and then we will change the pattern. So I'm just going to show you this once more through, and then we'll skip ahead to the next step. So this is row 5 I just placed on the loom, and we're going to take the bottom 2 bands from each position, hook, and over the top. Hook and over, hook, over, all the way around. Much easier with the monster tail than it would have been on a loom to manage this process. Okay, so I've just made it all the way around with 5 rows of bands. I want you to do 3 more now. You can pause the video, and when we come back, or if you just want to watch us through, when you come back, I will have done my 8 rows. Okay, so now I have 8 rows on my monster tail. Looks like this. And the next step is working on the ends, taking the top 2 and bringing them over to the peg on the right, and then the bottom 2 to the peg on the left. And then we're going to repeat that on the other side so that we can start building the waist of our dress. So top 2 to the right, bottom 2 to the left, And then so that we can even out our rows, because you'll see these ones on the end are now stacked higher, take the bottom 2 up and over so that we're left with just 4 on here again. And here the bottom 2 up and over, keeping my thumb on these to make sure they don't pop up too. And on the other side, do the same thing. The bottom 2 up and over, and the bottom 2 up and over. And so now you have an even number on each peg around, and we're now going to build up another row of bands, but this time just 6 around instead of 8. Once you have those in place, again, come from the bottom, take the bottom 2 up and over. The bottom 2, where do they go? Yup, up and over. And again, whee! There they go. So that's this side, and now this side we have to do. All the way around. All the way around, and around again. Okay, so that was one row with 6 pegs, and now we're going to do a second row of 6 pegs. Again, just putting another layer on in a circle. And now we repeat. Bottom 2, go up and over the peg to the other side. And there they are. That is all the bands that we're going to be putting on the monster tail. So we need to just get this ready for the next step. So we want to have just 2 bands in each position so that we can transfer this onto the other loom. And to do that, we're just going to take the bottom 2 right over so that we're left with only 2 bands in each of these positions. And there you have it. You've built the bottom of your skirt, which your princess doll will be able to stand up on. And we're ready to begin working on the rainbow loom. Okay, so we've got our loom ready, and it should be set up in the staggered configuration, and you want your arrow at the top. And we're actually going to work from the bottom of the loom. We want to count up 8 pegs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's going to be where we place our first rubber band in the color that you want the hair to be. So take a single rubber band Oops. And put it on that peg and the one underneath it, just like that. Then take 2 rubber bands at a time from that center peg down to the right, that center peg down to the left, and then left, middle, and right, like that with the hair color. And now switching to whatever color you plan to use for the skin. I'm going to put that right center and left. And then the next row, we're going to angle in to form the chin. So from the left to the center, and from the right to the center, and then down the middle as well. Although before we do the middle, we want to position a single rubber band in the color you want her lips to be onto that center peg, twisted and put on again so that it's there for us to use later. And then put the next 2 bands on like that. And in order to keep the shape of the face, I find it helpful to add another band here, a single band that I wrap around 3 times. And that helps the face keep its round shape. And then we need 2 going straight down for the neck. And then from that center down into the right for the shoulder on one side, and down to the left for the shoulder on the other. If you're going to make the doll like this, that's what I'm doing here. If you wanted to make this version with the long sleeves, this is where you would start switching to the dress color. So here, continuing with the strapless version, in the middle, and the left. And then this is where I switch to the dress color. Still 2 bands at a time. And now we need to add the arms. The arms are a single band as the cap with then 4 pairs of bands. If you prefer to do this on the loom, you can. I like to work on my hook. So there's the cap band, and then 2 at a time that we're taking through. See, so that tripled over band just got slid to the center of the 2 bands that I put on my hook. Like that. And I'm going to add 3 more pairs of bands to create the chain for the arm. So that's my preferred way, but if you're having trouble with this, for the other arm, I'll show you how to do it on the loom. So that's one arm, and if you preferred to do the arm on the loom, you would just need to come to where you have space and take 2 bands at a time and line them up. So once you've placed the 4 in a row, you take a single band, wrap it around 3 times, like that. Keeping your thumb to keep that cap from popping up. You go forward. And that's how you make the arm on the loom if you don't like working just on your hook. Just like that one. Now you have your 2 arms ready, and we need to get our eyes ready. So again, you have a choice here. For the eyes, we need a tripled over band done twice and put on a single band. If you want a easier way to do it, you could take the eye color on this peg, wrap it around 3 times, and do that for this one too. One, 2, 3. And then the band that they both need to go onto, you put over these 3 pegs. And then catch those bands and bring them over the top. I always switch back and forth doing it this way or sliding them with the hook. Whichever works better for you. You know, I have both ways in my videos. The right way is the way you like. So that's what we have ultimately. So it's 1 rubber band underneath with 2 tripled over bands slid onto it and then wrapped around these 3 pegs. So if you have done it on your hook, just make sure you connect it and that you then, see if you've put them on here, that you stretch this top one so that it's over this peg. That's what keeps the eyes from coming together so that we don't have a cyclops. And we are ready to add more bands. We'll need 1 here, which is going to end up getting moved, but this way we won't forget to put it on. And we need 2 purple ones, or whatever color you made your dress. And these we're actually going to double over like that. We're going to need 1 here too, but we can't put it on until we have the skirt attached. So let's do that. Bringing over our skirt, we're going to want to move these 2 bands onto here, then add the cap band, and then put these 2. So 1 at a time. Take those off. Stretch. And the center one. This is a very delicate part of the process because we don't want these to pop off and get lost. So that's 2, and the third down here, taking off of the monster tail and stretching on to the loom. So now we've got all 3 connected, and we can place the cap across to keep the 3 rows from separating and having gaps in her dress. Woo! Give yourself a pat on the back for making it this far. And now we're going to transfer the other half of what's on the monster tail to those same 3 pegs. So coming from the right, catching those 2 bands, bring them over the middle, bring it over, and careful. See, I have this one, I'm holding it down with my hand so it didn't pop off. And then we've got it, the last one. You can slide away your monster tail and put those around the peg like that. So that's what your skirt should look like when added onto the loom. And now we can go forward and connect it all together and then show it off to our friends. There we go. So now we're proceeding forward like you would if you were making a triple single bracelet. Just taking the 2 rubber bands that are going to the peg ahead, catching them, and bringing around and over. And repeating again for the next row. In the center. And on the side. Phew! Okay. Now we could do her shoulders. You're always looking for the bands that are coming from the peg you're planning to go to. So I'm catching these 2 rubber bands from way inside all of those arm pieces and shoulder pieces and bringing them right over. And for the neck, you've got to get through a lot. So look underneath to make sure the 2 bands you want are separated so that you can see them when you look from the side, to catch and bring on up like that. And here, if you remember, we have the extra cap band there too to help keep the chin shape, so just be aware of that. And we're going to take these off in the order they are stacked, and it looks like the one going forward to the center is on top if you look from the side. So we're gonna pull back all these cap bands and catch just those 2 rubber bands that go forward. And you'll see I sort of wiggle it around the right and then wiggle it around the left because there's so many bands on there. And this is what I mentioned before, that we would need to take this band off for a second. We're going to pull that up here for a moment. And then we're going to catch our mouth colored band and bring it over here so that she can have a beautiful smile. So once you have those two up and over, then you can return this where it was. And then coming back to the chin, getting the two on top. Well, they're not on top of the whole stack. They're on top of the ones that are on the bottom, but they're the two that go to this peg. So you want to find where this band goes on the bottom here. Catch those two and bring them over to the right. And then catch these two all the way inside and up to the left. And you know you did it right when you have these beautiful V shapes. And now we can continue on with the face. Doing the left side and the center, sliding that mouth down out of the way like that, and this, and then the right side of the face. And catching the top of her head that way and this way, and the final band, reaching in, wiggling it around the left, wiggling it around the right corners so that it doesn't catch in either of those places. Take the two bands on your hook, and we're going to create a slip knot to secure this entire figure together, taking this side of the rubber band into the center of that side. And pull, and then you have a slip knot. So at this point, you make a decision about how long you want the hair to be, and I find it easiest to attach the hair now while this is nice and open. So to do that, we're going to make another chain, and I like 5 long. You can do it on your loom or on your hook, but for this you want just a single rubber band because we want the hair to look light. So going 5 down and then creating a cap. And repeating for the other side. Now I'm just going to do 2 of these. You could connect as many as you want to make a full head of hair, or you could twist it up to make a bun. There's going to be lots of variations, I imagine, that I will see on Instagram and Pinterest and Facebook. I've got accounts in all those places, so I look forward to seeing your projects. So bringing this forward. And for this strand of hair, we're also going to create a slip knot. Oh, what did I do? I shot it across the room. So let's fix my mistake. Put this back on the hook. I lost 1 rubber band. So I'm going to get that rubber band on this way. Woo! There it is. Back in. No damage done. So creating a slip knot, taking this side through this side, like that. And then another slip knot here. So we've made this. We're going to take the loop that we just knotted in here and then pull the hair through the loop like that, and it'll stay on. Doing that again on the other side and hoping this time that I don't embarrass myself when I take it off. So this time I'm going to keep my thumb on that. See, that's the right way to do it. Then they all stay on. Then take this side through the center of the side, like that. And then string it here. And stretch and bring it around. Pull through. And we are there. Everything is now made and we just have to take her carefully off. I always take from the bottom and the top and from the sides before the middle to reduce strain on any one rubber band. This dress is so cute. Okay. You can use your fingers or your hook. And it all comes off. With care and love. So this middle one has a lot. I'm going to use my hook, putting it in and pushing back to get it around the pegs. And then sliding my hook out carefully. And there you have her. And my favorite final touch for this is a belt. And to make the belt, I just take 2 bands of whatever color I want to use and put them around the bottom of the skirt, twist and put around again, and that really finishes it off nicely. I hope you enjoyed making this with me today, and that you'll click like and comment below and subscribe, and that you'll check out some of my other videos. I've got nearly the entire alphabet up. The whole alphabet will be up within the next week. I've got Smiley Face, Ice Cream Sundae, Xylee the Bear, the Rubber Duckling, Cupcakes. Over 100 videos of different projects that you can make both on and off your Rainbow Loom. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to looming with you again soon. Bye-bye.